Three, two, one. Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 32 of this podcast with the name Yet Another Expat, a podcast where I share random things from my head and my life. My name is Ermis. Thanks for listening. And yeah, I don't have an intro for this intro. What do I usually say? I talk about the weather, so it's autumn. The color is nice actually. For the first time in Berlin, I see a lot of the leaves changing colors. They're becoming yellow and some of them red, and all of this situation is going on. I think it's the first year that I observe it in its beauty, if I may say. The weather is still not too cold, and we see the sun every now and then. May I dare to say that, yeah, it's actually kind of nice. But I will dive straight into this episode. I will try to keep it snappy, but let's see. You never know. I don't have it planned. So last week I did something I loved. I went laser tag. Let me tell you, if you don't know what laser tag is, it's a game, kind of a escape room style, but it's basically an arena, and you have guns that just shoot lasers, so they shoot frequencies. You don't see anything, and you wear a vest with different receivers and colors. So basically, you shoot people from a distance. If you hit them, they light up, and you take points, and you can run around in a terrain trying to shoot each other and collect points and things like this. Is quite a lovely game. I went for the second time in my life, and yeah, I just freaking love it. We had our nephew in town visiting, and that is a great opportunity. You know, I love spoiling a kid and having none of the responsibilities. So yes, part of the day was to go laser tag. It was his first time. He loved it. It's like it's this action. It looks a little bit like a playground. There are objects. There's a terrain. You can go up and down, and it has windows. And you try to find the enemies and collect points by hitting them. So yes, I have to say I am so good at this game. I apologize to all the kids and families that were there on that day. I was first on every round in score. You know, you probably had a normal life, but I played a shit ton of Counter Strike for 10 years. Counter Strike is a game, a shooting game that came out on computers, 2007. If you don't know Counter Strike, then you probably don't know much about gaming. But historic game of shooting, I was super good at this game. I may even say in the Greek scene of gaming, there were a few players that were really good. But this is ancient times, you know. If I could play Counter Strike right now in today's age, I would be a streamer minimum. Okay, this would be the minimum achievement, if not playing for a pro team. But this is how it was back then. I will not go back into my Counter Strike days to describe you all the years of friendships and matches and all that community part of my life around the game. But I just know how to be tactical with a fake weapon. So running around and ambushing different groups of people that were trying to camp and just shoot from a distance, or just, yeah, if you play these games long enough, you can just read the map. If people are not in one place, then they're probably in another place and all of that. So I had the time of my life. The nephew had the time of his life. We managed, even though we're a tiny team, to be leading the leaderboards, and my name was first every single time. And I could hear teenagers complaining or others try to follow me to see how I do the things. I literally got a blister in my hand from holding that toy gun. But the worst thing is my legs are destroyed because in that entire map you crouch. Is that the word? Like you're on your how do you say? Yeah, you do a half squat. You know how you do this tactical walk so you cannot be hurt. So you have to, yeah, to crouch and move, move, move. I did this the whole time. This is some serious exercise because I couldn't walk for 2 days. My leg muscles were super sore from all the ducking. How do you call this? Kneeling? Just walking very low. But yeah, this felt so good. I loved beating everyone there. I think I had the best time. I almost felt like I was the kid. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know, but yes, people, parents, and teenagers that came on that Saturday game, and you got obliterated. I am sorry. I didn't know I still had in me this commando mode activated from all the years of Counter Striking. But yeah, it was super fun. So this is one thing that happened. Have you ever been laser tag? Is this something that you've tried? If not, I think you should give it a try. You don't need to be as mental as me in there. And by the way, there are many rules, and one of them is that you're not supposed to run, which is a great one, especially for younger people in the sport. So you can walk. You can walk fast, but you cannot be running around. You cannot be bumping people. There is no physical contact. Yes, it's super safe. You can just sit in a corner and shoot whatever you see. You don't need to be a like Mr. Rambo over here. But give it a go if you haven't. But now that we got that out of the way, let's get into a little bit of news. Starting off with Germany, what is happening? What is cooking these days? So Berlin has finally stepped into the 21st century, and it announced that the infamous Anmeldung, the mandatory registration to live in the city, can now be done online as of mid-October. This is a wild announcement. The goal is to reduce the classic lineup of anxious newcomers clutching paperwork in crowded offices. This is a huge thing if you don't know, when you come to Berlin, you need to find an address or you need to register to an address. And this registration process is a very stressful procedure to go through. You need to find an appointment. There are usually no appointments available at all. And you have to be on this website just refreshing. And maybe you get one for 4 or 5 months from now, but maybe you need this paperwork sooner, so everyone really tries to find a spot and people go refreshing around 3 a.m. in case there is a cancellation for the next day or schedule way up in the future. But it's a very, very straining process. It can be. I had mine. It was pretty okay. It took some time to book, but things worked well when they did. But finally, this can be done online. And yes, this upgrade is supposed to, streamline bureaucracy a bit. It ease the city's administrative bottlenecks. So yeah, I think this starts a new era for all the people joining Berlin in the to-do list of what is to be done. It really, really simplifies. If it's working, I don't know if it's working, but that would be very, very helpful for a lot. A welcome change. I don't know if it's working. Do you know if it's working? If you know anyone who managed to do the entire registration online for the Anmeldung, let us know. Quite curious to know. What else is happening? There has been a lot of daycares going on strike. This has been in the news. The why is basically for better conditions. They are asking for minimum staffing ratios, better training. They're not asking for higher wages. I think it's important to put that out because I also looked it up. Why are they striking? The piece of news I bring is that the strikes were deemed illegal. So that's the piece of news. Somehow, the daycare staff have been banned from striking to demand better working conditions. I don't know how this happened legally. I know that it can be disruptive if the kindergarten of your child goes on strike repeatedly, but I'm not sure who shut them down. But yeah, they have been asking for, not for higher wages, but this thing, better staffing ratios. The problem is that even if Berlin wanted to do it, the labor agreements are linked to broader state level agreements. So they say that they cannot do a lot, but this has escalated the frustrations of those working in the industry. So what happens now? This is an interesting thing. It happened in Greece as well, where the government can just say that a strike is illegal. And then, yeah, you're asking for better conditions, but you cannot even ask for them. When the railway crash happened in Greece, that took the life of so many innocent people, there were actually strikes happening from from workers in those fields asking for better conditions, and some of them were deemed illegal as well because they don't allow them to strike. They need to be operating all the time, basically. So I don't know what happens next, but yes, this is one piece of news. Sorry, Kitas, you're banned from striking, and let's see what happens next. And the last thing I found, I'm doing, light-ish news, is that the Berlin mayor, Ake Wegner, wants to allow retailers to open on Sundays more often throughout the year. Now, this is a sensitive topic. Working on Sundays, it can be so different from country to country. In Greece, there's very few things that are open on a Sunday. It's considered a holiday, and most professions are protected. I would say in Germany, all the big things are closed. Maybe you only find something small and local. And I'm only talking about like food or spaghetti or something like this. I don't think there are any stores. So yeah, this is the other piece of news about Berlin. That's it with Berlin. Let's hear some things from Greece. So many great things coming from Greece. So they voted one thing. When you go into politics, they ask you need to declare everything you have. So this is called epothen. It's like, how much wealth do you have and where did you get it from? So it's like a tax declaration. It's common in many countries. So what did the Greek government vote? They voted that when you do this declaration, you don't need to include cash and diamonds. This is a real one. Yeah. They voted that if you have cash or diamonds, you don't need to declare it. What an interesting loophole. And by the way, remember, this is the same government that put in their greedy hands taxing the tips from service workers, right? They tried to change that now. They made it, I mean, they got so much reaction out of this that they put a minimum of 300 euros before they start taxing the tips or something like this. They tried to make a correction. Still, it's very clear what intention was, right? If there wasn't this uprise, it would have just happened. So yes, let's put taxes on the tip you give to a service worker, but let's not declare any diamonds or cash. This makes so much sense. In other things from Greece, on this laugh cry emoji, it's the one that's crying and the one that's laughing. That was a very elaborate explanation. So Greece launched its own FBI to combat organized crime. Organized crime has been quite tricky for Greece to actually solve. So yeah, someone would say this is pretty epic, right? Well, here's what happened though. They accidentally leaked the names and information of all 500 undercover officers who were supposed to make it happen. Like the entire list of staff that would have been the Greek FBI just got released. It's as stupid as it sounds. I don't know if someone in the police department thought it's a great idea to post the full list on a website. I think they made some sort of a weird meet the team kind of page, not realizing that they are doxing everyone, like giving the identities of everyone. So this led to a bit of a freak out. Everyone from police unions to PR reps were wondering who thought this was a good idea. Apparently, it was an accidental publication. Yeah, because nothing says top secret quite like a public URL where you have everyone. So now they are into full damage control, promising a deep investigation to figure out which department's email chain took a wrong turn. Meanwhile, the unions are rightfully annoyed, but also very deeply concerned about the officer's safety, right? This could have been a very stupid mistake, or it could have actually, who knows, be something made with intent. So the people who raise their hands and say, yeah, take me to the special force to fight organized crime, they know that in the split of a second, their identities could be revealed, that they are not protected. Yeah, this is Greece's FBI is off to a bumpy start. It could be the plot of a police comedy. Yeah, that's but sometimes people get confused. For example, the train in Athens, the railway, entered the metro line because why not? Someone got confused in the lines, and then it happened that the normal train entered the metro lines. Then it had to back off and leave. But since you never know what will end you. But okay, now we'll give you some random things about the world and my head. Enough with covering this great coverage around Greece, and Berlin can take a pause. One thing I want to share with you, if you haven't seen it, is that Google Lens is now available in Chrome. If you're using Chrome to browse the wonderful World Wide Web, then if it is updated, you will see that in the URL bar on the right, if you click once, just on the empty space of the bar, then you will get the Google Lens button there. It will just appear. And if you click on it, you can use Google Lens on whatever your screen is seeing on the page, which can be super duper helpful. I really, really like it. Basically, the quickest thing you can do is grab any text from image. So if you're looking at an image online, maybe it's the address, maybe it's an email, maybe it's some words. You can just open Lens, grab it, copy it as text. You can even translate it. So very quickly, you could translate a photo that just as you do on the phone, you could translate the content of a photo that is showing something in a different language. Super duper interesting. Also a bit creepy, but yeah, I guess it was coming. It's quite helpful to be there. Google Lens now in Chrome, top right of the bar. I'm not getting sponsored by Google. Google, if you're listening, I don't know. It's complicated. Everything is gray. Contact me and we'll find a way. But a second thing that caught my attention from the beautiful world of the internet, this is coming straight out of Instagram. This is my source. Apparently, there was this popular Japanese biker girl that was filming her adventures on a Yamaha bike. A lot of content, more than 2,000 followers on Twitter, and I don't know about the other social media. And she was doing this trip on the motorbike. Well, apparently, these 20,000 people realized that their beloved bike girl influencer was, in fact, a 50-year-old who was using a face app to turn himself into a girl. So he was using an app that completely changes your face, and he had this career as a Japanese biker girl and this huge followership, just always using this filter and showing the bike trips and being all sexy and cute. And at some point, one of the followers showed that in the mirror of the motorbike, there was a glance, and there you could see the real face of the person. And this led to this discovery. His scheme got called off. So yeah, it was a long-haired 50-year-old. But do you know what I have to say to this? I'm like, yes, I'm all in for this 50-year-old uncle. Let's call him uncle. Because you know what? Why not? Everything is fake. Anyways, uncle wanted to keep going on his bike. He needed a source of income. He thought so many stupid people on the internet just blindly follow and boost and give money to all these people. I'll just go for it. So I'm with me. Yes, to everyone who's making money on the internet, not to be scamming people. I mean, he was not stealing their wallets and swiping their credit cards. It was just a persona that existed, and the followers of that persona were supporting it. Nothing wrong about that. For all I care, make AI sex robots. Have you seen that? Have you seen there are people who use ChatGPT and all sorts of 3D AI technology where you can have videos and faces and create things? They're using that to create these sex influencers that don't really exist. People think they exist because they have an online presence. They have their Instagram, they have their OnlyFans, they can do a live on TikTok or give extra content for those who pay on I don't know what. But it's all AI. And there are people that are just running it, and it's able to chat with people. It's able to do a webcam stream. So yes, I'm all in for that. I'm not sure about how far this technology is, but this is happening. There are people looking to make artificial intelligence fake, how do you call it, sex celebrity influencers. And yeah, I don't mind at all. People need to survive as long as there are people paying for content with their attention or money. No one is getting harmed. You're just fulfilling the fantasy. So yes to him. I'm with you, uncle. I hope more people use. I've seen actually, this is creepy, but I saw on a reel there are some people that put a filter on their face to look like children, and then they enter these like chat roulette or Omegle, these websites that just match you with video with randoms, and they just stay until they find someone who could be interested, and then they just switch the face and confront. Or I only saw one reel like that, but it felt so creepy, like the whole thing, very much Black Mirror scenario. Like this is straight out of a Black Mirror scenario, that someone will get to do that, trick someone else into who knows what happens after. This is a pretty dark one, okay? Maybe I edited out. I wasn't ready for such dark thoughts, but they came. This happens. And I will share two more random thoughts and wrap it up. And speaking of all this Instagram, what do you do when someone shows you a reel you have already seen? What do you do? Like, so this happens. This has definitely happened to you. Yeah, definitely happened to you. Someone sends you a reel, and it's a funny one or a good one or one that you bypassed, but you have seen it. What are your options there? Like, what do you do? And I find it an interesting one. Are you gonna be an asshole and be like, "Oh, I've seen that already"? You know, the people who answer that. I've been one of these people, by the way. Okay, but the people who answer like that, they're like, "Oh, I've seen that already." Like what? I'm so much better than you. What is that person bragging about, saying, "Oh, I've seen that already"? That this is last week's news. This is too old for me. I'm so cool. I've seen it all. So yeah, when you send me something, the next thing, just know that maybe I've already seen it. Beware what you share with me, okay? Because I'm very far ahead. No, no. Let's not be let's not be that people. I think if you're getting sent something that you had seen before, like before, whatever, laugh like it's the first day. Say ha ha. Don't end in a ah. You need to end in an H, so it feels more original. So you're like ha ha ha. Yeah, and give the other person the pleasure of thinking that they introduced this to you. We all have fried brains anyway from all the content we consume. Why don't just invite the future dementia a little bit closer? Just pretend it's the first time you see it and make someone say, yes, what do you do when someone shows you a reel you've seen before? My answer is like, fake it, fake it and make their day. The second one is I took the bus. I don't know if I've shared this before. I think I haven't. I took the bus to go somewhere and I was watching something on my phone. I don't remember what it and I do that because sometimes in transport there's a lot of eye contact can be awkward or intense. If I can revert on my phone to not have to look at anyone. But then for some reason I was in a bus just looking at my phone. And at some point I just stopped and looked up and I have to say that I realized that I'm looking at my phone because it feels more free. But as I was standing, I looked around and everyone was on their phone. Like every single head, every single person was on their phone, which in a way meant that the most comfortable place for me to be was to just look around. No one was looking a thing. I could just, I don't know, stare or I could put my eyes on anything I liked around because everyone was on their phone. And that moment of freedom, realizing that actually having freedom in this public, crowded situation would be so surreal. Like instead of reading my book, I have to just put my head up, stop looking at the screen, and that's it. You're alone. You're in a zone, and there's so much to see. So yeah, this is what I did. So next time you're in a public transport, try that out. See how many is of you that are not using your phone. You maybe even exchange an eye contact with someone, communicating the fact that it's just you in the entire place that are looking. But this is my last thing. I will cut it here. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Thank you for listening to the brain drops of this week. If you like this podcast, show your love. Show your love with a comment, a like, a review, a share, whatever that is. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you thought of it. Find someone you love. Find someone you care about, and yeah, tell them how proud you are. I think we should say more often what we are proud of from other people. Do some recognition. That is your homework for the week. Do some recognition on others and on yourselves. So go tell someone you love them. Have a great week. Ciao.